even worse than going to downtown. Miami Beach is literally worse than going to downtown, even though it's like right next to it. It's the worst. I'm gonna add a little more. Also, Van Gogh is not a Renaissance painter. He's an impressionist. Completely different time. But I see what you're saying. You drove from Tornado, Florida in 24 hours? What were you going? 100 miles per hour the entire way? That's impossible. Sounds terrible. You're from Orlando and driving through the theme parks is so annoying. Yes, it is. I have driven in Orlando. A nightmare. I think it's the I-4. What is the name of the highway in Orlando that is just despised by everybody? Alright, this is another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Let's take a guess as to which turtle we're doing today. I-4. Yeah, I-4 is the worst. And the tolls are so expensive on the I-4. Ridiculous. I mean, on the 95, they're pretty bad as well. It'll be like $7. And then it'll go up for like $14. And you're like, I-95, you're the worst road. What am I paying for? Absolutely nothing. Paying to suffer. It's like I have to drive down this highway and pay to drive down this highway. Miami. Worst. And then if you make a mistake, you pay twice. Sometimes even 3 times. Alright, here he is. It's your boy. It's my boy. It's Raphael. I love Raphael. Favorite Ninja Turtle. Honestly, I don't drive in Miami when my husband and I go visit. Yeah, because it's the worst. No, the worst is Buenos Aires. Buenos Aires is terrifying to just be in a car. Being in Buenos Aires and being driven around is a nightmare. In a taxi, don't even get me started. Don't even get me started. Taxi drivers in Buenos Aires drive like this close to a bus, and you're like, and going like at full speed. Also, most of the streets, there's no stop sign, and if there is, it's like ignored. It's kind of like a suggestion to stop. It's not really the law to stop. So those intersections are a nightmare. Why is Miami so bad to drive in? Because it was not planned out. It's a city that's not planned out. It's always under construction. There's a lot of streets that all of a sudden, this is a one-way. I deal with it. This is a one-way now. It's like everything's two-way, and then all of a sudden, not anymore. And then the drivers and the tourists make it even worse, so. It's like already bad, and then plus tourists that don't know how to drive in Miami. And then locals who do know how to drive in Miami, but they drive terribly. No blinkers. Never use a blinker, ever, ever in your life. Do not. And if you do not go as soon as the light is turning green, you will get honked at. People are very impatient. People are very much in a hurry, and the roads are badly paved. It's just like a combination. The traffic is horrible. Getting from one place to the other is a nightmare, especially during Art Basel. It's like nightmare. San Francisco streets are so small and forget about getting behind a bus. Yes, and San Francisco also has the problem with the hills that your car will like if you don't got that 4-wheel drive. Excellent stuff. As someone who lives in Florida, 100% roads are terrible. Sadly, Texas, especially the DFW area, highways are absolutely vile. Yes, you've had a bad panic attack driving through Dallas and the highway's crazy and the drivers are like, wee! Yes, I-95 is terrible because also there is no, what's it called? Like you have the lanes and then you have like a little bit. You don't got that. So if you get stuck on the road, you're stuck on the road. You can't like go to the side. So if there is an accident, it's in the middle of the road. Yes, and they have to stay there. They can't just like move to the side. What's the name of that? The shoulder. There is no shoulders. And it's just a wall. So when you're driving right next to the wall, you're like, I could accidentally, whoop, you know? Yeah. Ain't got no shoulders. Terrible. Nightmare. And then if you accidentally get on the express lane, goodbye. There is no getting off the express lane. Have you ever been to Europe? Yes, I have. Alright, this is the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure case. We have a character and their stand. So, go ahead and guess who you think it is. You can agree with Texas peeps. I live in Houston and had to drive once to Dallas. No thank you ever again. Ireland, Slovenian roads are legit only lane. How people pass each other astounds me. Yes, in Colorado it was like that too. Plus the snow and the ice, and you're like, why? Why is it like this? We have chocolata. And sickle. Paris is a free-for-all. The one time that I went to Paris and I spent a day there was a nightmare. Because we didn't know that all public transport was on strike. So, no subways, no taxis. Some bus drivers, but the bus driver would drive for a block and then it'd be like, everybody get out. I'm not driving anymore. So you'd be stuck in the middle of the road, and then that same bus driver would come by and pick us up and then do the same thing again. We missed our train. It was great. I love Paris. I love it so much. Okay, let's bolt. This is it. Why is this? Let's just put that there. I love the color combination there. So pretty. Alright, what time is it? We are at 5:48. Let me put these away. And then we can pack some DIY kits. I know there was one ordered during today's live stream, and then there was another one that was placed. So I can do that. I can do that. Orange and green, I know, I love it too. Does it dry hard like plastic? It dries slightly soft. It's like, it's got a little bit of squidge. Just a tad bit of squidge. You think the worst time you had driving was in Mexico and you had to dodge a truck that his charge was falling on the middle of the highway? Yeah, I think it's happened to me like 3 times where I was driving behind a truck in Miami going to college, and a truck's wheel exploded while I was driving behind them. So, not fun. Not fun at all. Thankfully, I did not get hurt. I was able to swerve out of the way, but it's terrifying. It's just like an explosion of black smoke. And you're like, ah. That was on the turnpike. So those trucks are coming from up north and they're driving all the way to Miami and they just don't change their wheels, and it happens a lot on the turnpike. What can I say? It's a nightmare. Let's see. Michael my iPad. So let's do it here. Let me eat some snacks while we're here. Terry loves cacao nibs. No, not inventory. Orders, thank you. Okay, we've got that. So, this one. I have one here that's for Joanna. Did I already ship this one out? Yeah, I did. Can you show me the ones that are ready?